Ciao guys and welcome back, it's your friend Luca, and in today's video we're gonna have a look at the new Zhiyun Cinepeer 4e, a more budget-friendly version of the old and sturdy Crane 4. Normally in life one gimbal is more than enough, and if you're wondering why I'm reviewing this gimbal after I talked about other gimbals in the past, the reason is simple. I needed a gimbal that was capable of loading heavier setups. Like this one, this is the Lumix S5 with the S-Pro 24-70 or some other anamorphic setups. So when Zhiyun contacted me and asked me if I wanted to review this product, receiving it for free, I said yes, of course, that would be an amazing plan, thank you. This is the reason why we're having this amazing video review today. As always, I talk about the pros and negatives about the product in the most neutral way, so you be the judge if this is going to be a good product for you or not. Now let's first talk about the specifications of the gimbal. First of all, the tilt mechanical range is 220 degrees, the roll axis is going to be 71 degrees, and the pan mechanical range is going to be 360 degrees. And that means that you can quickly pan the gimbal toward you and use it in a selfie mode. Inside the gimbal we have a 2600 mAh battery that will use the gimbal for around 12 hours of operation. And to fully charge the battery you will approximately need 2 hours. In terms of size, the gimbal is not that big. I consider it in a medium size range, and when you remove these accessories that you can purchase separately, the gimbal is pretty small. And without accessories, the gimbal weighs 1.6 kg. The gimbal comes with a box and some foam with the proper cuts to store the gimbal properly, so you could reuse this foam if you have a case like a Pelli case or a Nanook 935 to bring the gimbal with you in a safe storage. Included in the box you will find a lot of accessories, for example the mini tripod foot, a quick release plate for the gimbal and another one for the camera, a lens support, an Allen key, 2 cables and some 1/4 inch screws. So in the box you will not have included these 2 accessories that are sort of game changer in my opinion, because I never had such a comfortable gimbal like this before. And I'm talking about this wrist support and this second handle of the gimbal. And when you're gonna shoot with this setup, you will see that this gimbal is extremely comfortable, and with this little wheel you can adjust the angle of the wrist support according to how you plan to carry the gimbal, and you can also adjust the angle of this side handle of the gimbal. And here you can also have a 1/4 inch screw mount where you can mount something like this, and then here you can attach, for example, an external monitor or a microphone or other devices that you might need on your shooting day. Next to this feature of being an incredible comfortable gimbal to use, this gimbal has a quick solution to swap between horizontal to vertical shooting. Let me show you right away how to do it. You simply release the lever here on the bottom plate, you click the safety button, and then you place your camera on the gimbal like this. But keep in mind that you will have to rebalance the gimbal because now the center of gravity is not on the same place as before. Each axis has its own locking switch, but these are not automatic if you turn the gimbal on and off, so you have to manually lock and delock them whenever you need to do it. Balancing the gimbal it's pretty easy and fast, maybe except this axis here that I find it a little bit slower, because when I need to fine-tune the weight distribution on this axis I lose more time, and that's mainly because of this little knob here that, as you can see, there is a little bit of play here going back and forward, so maybe for this axis I lose around 30–40% more than the other 2 axes. Keep talking about this axis, you can see here 2 USB-C ports that are dedicated to the focus and the zoom interface, while on the other side you will find the image transferring control interface USB-C port. In terms of physical controls of the gimbal, you will have a clickable button here, a control wheel here on the front. On the back you will have a little joystick, a shutter release button that you can use through the Bluetooth interface, but also through the USB-C cable. On the right side of the gimbal you have another control wheel here that you can use to change the ISO, exposure or shutter speed of your camera if you connect it with the gimbal through the USB-C cable. Here you can find the on-off power switch, and on the bottom here you will find the USB-C port. On the back of the gimbal you will find the touchscreen LCD where you can change all the settings of the gimbal, but unfortunately this is only touchscreen and you cannot control and adjust the settings with the physical controls. And last but not least, with this gimbal we can also use a motorized follow focus that you have to buy separately, and that's great in case you work with cinema lenses or if you want to have a full control of the scene where you want to focus with your lens. I've been using and testing this gimbal for around 2 weeks and I consider it pretty fantastic. I also tried to balance the Lumix S5IIx with the 72-200 f2.8. that is a gigantic lens. I can show you right away what I'm talking about. It's here. This chunky piece of glass that weighs 1.5 kilos, and I actually have the teleconverter, so this is the actual size of the lens. And to balance this lens with the S5IIx I need to use some counterweights, because with this lens the setup is too front heavy, but if you add some counterweights on the rear part of the system you will not have any problems as long as you set the torque motor settings too low. Now, because this is an honest review as always, I'm gonna point 2 little things that I'm not really enthusiastic about this gimbal. First of all, if you don't have these 2 accessories attached here, you will have a pretty edgy mounting option on both sides that if you don't pay attention you can scratch yourself pretty often, and that wasn't a very pleasing experience. So I highly suggest to Zhiyun to send this gimbal with some rubber protections around these mounting points for the accessories. That will make the user experience much more pleasing. The second thing that doesn't spark a joy on me with this gimbal is about the behavior of the pan axis, because very often I've been seeing this gimbal following smoothly the pan axis and then maybe doing a little, I don't know, hiccup movement that was sort of ruining the vibe of that pan. So overall I'm very happy with this gimbal. I think I'm gonna use it very often for my future gigs and future personal projects. I just wish that one day we're gonna see a gimbal that will take care of this axis, so maybe a 4D type of gimbal that is easy to use for the consumer market. Anyway, if you are interested in this gimbal, I will leave the affiliate links in the description, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask down in the commentary below. This is it for today. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!